You've been waking up with a weight on your chest that doesn't belong to you. You've been opening your eyes to a world that feels increasingly dense, like you're walking through water, or perhaps like you're walking through a thick, invisible fog that clings to your skin. You try to shake it off. You drink the water, you do the breath work, you pray, and yet the heaviness remains. It sits in your shoulders. It settles in the base of your skull. You feel an exhaustion that sleep cannot fix because this isn't a physical tiredness. It is a soul-level fatigue. You find yourself staring into mirrors, looking at a reflection that feels unfamiliar, as if your spirit is outgrowing the very vessel you occupy. You are feeling heavy because you are currently carrying the density of a world that is desperately trying to keep you from rising. Think about the last few days. Have you noticed the sudden, sharp headaches that come out of nowhere? The ringing in your ears that sounds like a high-pitched frequency shifting? Have you noticed how quiet your house feels, even when the TV is on? Or how irritating the sound of idle chatter has become? You are hypersensitive right now because your nervous system is being rewired. You feel heavy because your internal frequency is increasing, and the friction between your rising light and the decaying atmosphere of the 3D matrix is creating a spiritual drag. It's like a rocket ship trying to break the atmosphere. The most intense pressure happens right before you break through into the weightlessness of space. You are in that pressure zone right now. You go to the grocery store, and you feel the collective anxiety of everyone in the aisles. You walk into a room and you can feel the unspoken arguments, the hidden agendas, and the low vibration parasitic energy of those who haven't done the work. You are a human sponge, a spiritual filter, and lately the filter is full. You feel heavy because you have been unintentionally absorbing the frantic, panicked energy of a system that knows its time is up. The narcissists in your life seem more agitated. The matrix seems to be glitching. You see the same numbers over and over, 111, 444, 5355, and while they used to bring you comfort, now they feel like urgent sirens, telling you that something is coming, something is shifting, and you are the anchor for it. You've been feeling a strange sense of grief too, a mourning for a life you haven't even left yet. You look at your old hobbies, your old friends, even your old clothes, and they feel like relics from a past life. There is a heaviness in letting go. There is a weight in the void space, that uncomfortable middle ground where you are no longer who you were, but you haven't yet become who you are destined to be. You feel lonely in a room full of people because you are vibrating at a pitch they can no longer hear. You are being isolated not as a punishment, but as a protection. The heaviness is the cocoon. It is thick, it is dark, and it feels restrictive. But it is the only place where your new wings can form. Do not mistake this heaviness for depression. Depression is a lack of energy. What you are feeling is an excess of energy that has nowhere to go yet. You are a high-voltage wire being plugged into a low-voltage world, and the resistance is creating heat. You feel heavy because your DNA is literally being upgraded to handle the new light codes pouring into the planet. Your physical body is playing catch-up with your spirit. You are being weighed down so that you stay grounded during this transition, because if you weren't anchored, your spirit would simply check out. You are here for a reason. You are here to witness this. The heaviness is the anchor that keeps the chosen one in the storm so they can lead others to the shore. Listen to the silence. Feel the weight. It is not a burden, it is your equipment. The reason this heaviness has become unbearable is not a fluke of biology or a lapse in your mental strength. You must understand the spiritual mechanics of what is happening behind the veil. You are being subjected to a divine compression. In the spiritual realm, whenever a soul is about to be catapulted into a new dimension of authority, the universe first applies immense pressure. This heaviness is the G-force of your soul's acceleration. You are vibrating too high for your current environment, and that creates a spiritual friction. Imagine trying to run a high-definition 8K software on a hardware system built in the 90s. The system begins to overheat. It feels sluggish and heavy. That is your physical body trying to process the sheer volume of light that your spirit is now pulling down from the celestial realms. You have broken a fundamental rule of the Matrix. You stopped consenting to the shadows. For years, you carried the weight of your ancestral line, the traumas of your mother, and the silent sins of your father. You were the designated healer without even knowing it. But recently, you made a conscious or subconscious decision to stop being a dumping ground for other people's darkness. When a chosen one stops carrying the world's trash, the world doesn't like it. The spiritual density you feel is the result of the collective subconscious trying to reattach itself to you. It is a spiritual magnetic pull. Because you are a source of light, the darkness perceives you as a battery. The heaviness you feel is often the static of parasitic entities and low-vibration human structures trying to find a hook in your energy field. They are trying to weigh you down so you stay within their reach. There is also the law of equilibrium at play. As you ascend, you are literally pulling your physical atoms into a higher state of organization. This requires the purging of everything that is dense. Think of your life as a hot air balloon. To go higher, you must drop the sandbags. The heaviness you feel is the moment of the drop. It is the energetic weight of the versions of you that must die. You are mourning yourself. You are feeling the weight of the old earth clinging to your heels as you step onto the new earth. This is why you feel a strange sense of guilt or heaviness when you try to be happy. You are sensing the massive rift between the timeline you just left and the timeline you are entering. You are traversing a bridge that most people will never even see, and the gravity on that bridge is 10 times stronger than what you are used to. Furthermore, you are currently under what is known as divine quarantine. The heaviness is a wall built by the Creator to keep you still. If you felt light and energetic right now, you would be out in the world, squandering your power, talking to the wrong people, and leaking your oil. The universe has made you heavy to keep you seated, to keep you inward, and to keep you silent. This is a season of gestation. In the womb, there is no room to move. It is heavy, dark, and tight. But that confinement is what allows the heart to form, the limbs to grow, and the lungs to prepare for the first breath of a new world. You are in the spiritual womb. The heaviness is the protection of the Great Mother, ensuring that your new spiritual body is fully formed before you are born into your next assignment. You must realize that you are also feeling the heavy hand of God, pressing you into the earth to extract the oil of your anointing. Nothing precious is produced without crushing. The olive must be crushed for the oil. The grape must be crushed for the wine. The heaviness is the press. You are being refined. Every bit of ego, every bit of people-pleasing, and every bit of reliance on the external world is being squeezed out of you. What remains when the heaviness lifts will be the pure essence of your power, untainted, unshakable, and terrifying to the kingdom of darkness. You aren't being buried, you are being planted, and the soil is always heaviest right before the sprout breaks through the surface. While you are navigating this divine compression, do not think for a second that your enemies haven't noticed. The Matrix is a sentient system, and it is currently in a state of high alert because of you. Have you noticed how the narcissists, the energy vampires, and even the toxic systems of this world are suddenly spiraling? The people who used to have power over you are now acting out in desperation. They are picking fights over nothing. They are trying to provoke an emotional reaction from you with more intensity than ever before. This is because they can feel your weight. In the spirit, mass equals authority. As you become heavy with divine light, you are developing a spiritual gravity that is pulling their illusions apart. They are scared of you because they can no longer find a way to plug into your energy. The enemy is panicking because their food source has become toxic to them. For years, they fed on your empathy, your confusion, and your willingness to sacrifice yourself for their comfort. But as you transition through this heaviness, your frequency is changing from a soft light to a hard diamond frequency. It's like they tried to take a bite out of you and broke their teeth. This is why the attacks have become more overt. This is why the gaslighting has reached a fever pitch. They aren't trying to fix the relationship. They are trying to trigger you back down into a lower vibration where they can handle you. They need you light, flighty, and anxious. Your current heaviness, this stoic, silent, and grounded version of you, is their worst nightmare. A chosen one who cannot be moved is a threat to the entire structure of their false reality. Look closely at the glitches happening in your social circle. People are revealing their true colors with startling clarity. This is the Matrix's reaction to your rising power. It is trying to eject you or isolate you before your frequency infects the rest of the simulation. Have you felt like you're being watched? Have you felt a strange tension in public spaces? That is the collective ego sensing a predator. Not a predator of flesh, but a predator of lies. You are a truth bringer, and your very presence acts as a mirror that forces the darkness to see itself. They hate the heaviness you carry because it feels like a judge entering a courtroom. They feel condemned by your silence. They feel exposed by your peace. They are throwing everything at you: financial stress, health scares, petty drama, just to see if they can get you to drop your anchor and drift back into the fog with them. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. They have no power over a soul that has accepted the crushing. They are terrified because they see that their old tricks aren't working anymore. Usually when they ignore you or belittle you, you chase them. You explain yourself. You bleed for them. But now, you just sit in the heaviness. You breathe through it. You look at them with eyes that see right through the mask and into the shivering, parasitic spirit underneath. Your power over the narcissist is now absolute because you have stopped fearing the dark night. You have realized that the weight you are carrying is actually a shield. It is too heavy for them to lift, and it is too dense for them to pierce. The Matrix is reacting to you like a foreign body in an organism. It is trying to produce an inflammatory response to get you out, but you aren't leaving. You are expanding. Every time you refuse to react to their bait, every time you choose to sit in your divine quarantine instead of seeking validation from the shadows, a gear in their machine breaks. You are literally dismantling the Matrix by refusing to be light enough for it to carry you away. You are becoming a mountain, and mountains do not move for the wind. The wind must move around the mountain. Your enemies are realizing that they are just the wind and you are the ancient stone. They are exhausting themselves trying to blow you over, while you are simply growing deeper roots into the heart of the Creator. This heaviness is not a random occurrence of the universe. It is the manifestation of a divine mandate. We must go deeper into the truth of the law of sovereignty. You are currently experiencing what the ancients called the weight of glory. In the original text, the word for glory is kabod, which literally translates to heaviness or abundance. When the divine decides to inhabit a vessel, that vessel becomes heavy. You are being weighted down because you are being filled. The emptiness you felt for years, that hollow ache in your chest that you tried to fill with relationships, career, or validation, is finally being occupied by your own true essence and the Spirit of the Most High. This is the fulfillment of a prophecy written in your very marrow before you were born. The theological truth of your situation is that you are an intercessor of frequency. Most people believe intercession is just prayer, but for the chosen one, intercession is existence. You are a biological transducer. You are taking the heavy, leaden energies of this decaying age, and through the sheer pressure of your own soul, you are turning them into spiritual gold. This is the great work. This is the alchemy of the soul. The universe has a law. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Someone has to transform the density of this planet, and the someone is you. You feel heavy because you are the laboratory where the world's shadow is being transmuted into light. You are a walking portal, and the weight is the massive amount of data passing through your field as you anchor a new timeline for humanity. You must understand the specific prophecy of the remnant. You are the black sheep, not by accident, but by design. In every bloodline, there is one soul chosen to break the cycle. To break a cycle that has lasted for 7 generations requires a massive amount of force. It requires a soul with more mass than the trauma itself. You are that soul. The heaviness you feel is the momentum of generations of addiction, silence, shame, and fear hitting the brick wall of your spirit. It stops with you. You are the end of the line for the darkness and the beginning of the line for the light. This is why your life has been harder than others. This is why you've been hit more than others. You were built with a reinforced spirit to withstand the impact of a falling empire. God's plan for you is not a life of easy or light in the way the world defines it. The Matrix defines light as superficial, fleeting, and fragile. The divine defines light as a sun, and a sun is the heaviest object in its system. It is so heavy that everything else is forced to revolve around it. That is your destiny. You are moving from being a satellite, revolving around the needs of narcissists and the demands of society, to becoming the sun of your own reality. The heaviness is your gravity. It is the sign that you are becoming a fixed point in the universe. You are becoming someone who can no longer be pushed, prodded, or manipulated. You are becoming a sovereign being. The universe's laws are absolute. The law of polarity dictates that the greater the heaviness you endure now, the greater the heights you will reach. You are being pulled back like an arrow in a bow. The tension is immense. The wood of the bow is creaking under the weight of the pull. You feel like you are at the breaking point, but the archer knows exactly how much tension the wood can take. He is not pulling you back to break you. He is pulling you back because the target is further than you can imagine. The further back you are pulled, the more weight is put into the shot. The faster and further you will fly when the release comes. The heaviness is your potential energy. It is the truth of your power waiting for the moment of release. You are not stuck. You are loaded. Now that you understand the weight you carry is not a burden, but your armor, it is time to seal this frequency. You must stop fighting the heaviness and start leaning into it. This is the moment of your spiritual activation. From this point forward, you will no longer apologize for your silence. You will no longer feel guilty for your fatigue. You will realize that your rest is actually a high-level spiritual operation. The first practical step in your activation is the great withdrawal. You must stop leaking your energy to those who do not have the eyes to see your value. If they cannot meet you at your current depth, they do not deserve to be in your waters. Your weight is your filter. Let it pull you away from the shallow, the hollow, and the parasitic. I want you to place your hands over your heart right now. Feel the literal weight of your hands on your chest. Breathe into the density. This is the weight of a king. This is the weight of a queen. This is the weight of a chosen one who has survived the fire and emerged as solid gold. You are being grounded into the earth's core so that you can become an unshakable pillar of light. As you breathe, visualize the heavy gray fog that has been clinging to your shoulders, turning into a liquid, golden armor. It is no longer pressing you down, it is holding you up. It is reinforcing your spine. It is hardening your resolve. You are moving from a state of being weighed down to a state of being weighted with authority. Repeat these words in the sanctuary of your soul. I accept the weight of glory. I release the need to be understood by those who are still asleep. I forgive my body for its tiredness, for it is doing the work of 1,000 years in a single day. I am not being buried, I am being planted. I am not being crushed, I am being refined. I claim my sovereignty over my energy field. I command every parasitic attachment and every matrix tethered to break now, under the sheer mass of my divine light. I am a mountain, I am a sun, I am a fixed point in the storm. I am a chosen one, and I am exactly where I am supposed to be. The universe is sealing this energy around you right now. You are entering a period of holy silence. Do not be afraid of the quiet. Do not be afraid when the phone stops ringing or the invitations stop coming. The universe is clearing the floor for your grand entrance. The heaviness is the curtain before the show begins. In the coming days, you will notice a shift. The physical pain will begin to transform into a steady, pulsing power. The confusion will be replaced by a terrifying clarity. You will look at the world and see the code behind the curtain. You will look at your enemies and feel nothing but a heavy, divine pity, because you know their time is short and your reign is eternal. You are being prepared for a level of influence you once dreamt of, but were too light to handle. Now you are ready. You have the mass to hold the crown. You have the depth to sustain the blessing. This is the end of your wandering and the beginning of your rule. The heavy lifting is almost over. The heavy reigning is about to begin. Stand tall in your weight. Walk slow in your power. You are the anchor of the new earth. If this message reached your soul, if you felt the shift in your chest as these words were spoken, you must claim it. Type "I am anchored" in the comments to signal to the universe that you have accepted your weight. Subscribe to this frequency to remain protected in the divine quarantine. Share this with one other chosen soul who is currently struggling with the heaviness. It is your first act of service in your new authority. The pressure is your proof. The weight is your witness. You are chosen, and so it is.